Greetings, 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 Earthlings. I am Planet Mitch, and this is a Friday afternoon giveaway slash contest slash sweepstakes review session. And I'm in a pretty good mood because I just spent the last hour and a half recording a podcast with a gentleman who is my fake nephew. It's kind of a long story, but a good friend of mine, his name is Rich, and we have known each other for 40 years, something crazy. And his sisters, so Rich has a nephew. Anyway, long story. I've known these people for forever, and he turns out to have a business podcast. The young guy, his name's William, and so I was just on his podcast, and so we spent a lot of time reminiscing about his childhood. And so I'm just kind of in a good mood. And I apologize for just being silly and goofy. By the way, he asked me, for those of you who don't know, this is Astro. This is my good buddy Astro that's been with me also for a long time, probably 30 years now. He lived with me at my day job at Boeing so many moons ago. I don't even remember where I got him, but so that's Astro. It's not a long story, and that's my daughter right there, in case you want to know. So I said on the Up Viral group today that I was going to be live, and if anybody wanted to pop in and ask for a contest review. And so that's what I'm doing. I had one person who said they were interested. I was just trying to figure out, I don't know how to grab the link. Is there a way that I can grab the link for this? Let me just say in the Facebook group that I'm live here, and my facebook.pm is there. All right. So Nicole is the one who left me a request. Nicole said, "I'll be there cringing in the corner." And what I'm doing is copying the link. So let me see. If you show up, Nicole, go ahead and pop in the comments. If anybody else shows up, and just pop in the comments and say hi. For multiple reasons. It makes it more fun when I know who's here. It also shows interest to Facebook, and so Facebook will potentially show my live feed to other people. And obviously, I would love to have more people show up because that makes it more fun. So I see a couple of people are here, according to the statistics on my screen. Let's dive in, and the purpose of this is not to harm or injure anybody or their ego or anything else. The idea here is to give you feedback, to figure out what's working and what could be improved, with the caveat that I don't know absolutely everything about contests, but I've had over 100 campaigns that I have run, and I look at the statistics very closely when they're over. So I've done a lot of work in terms of trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And Nicole says, "I am here." Hooray, Nicole. Thank you for being brave. Kudos to you for being brave enough to open yourself up to fun, loving me. I appreciate you. Now, so here's the link. I have not looked at this before. I also noticed that, Facebook is supposed to show the full image instead of this image on the left and the description. I do not know the rules as to when it does that right and when it doesn't. I notice you put a tracking link on there. Kudos to you. Ring the bell. I don't know what the NP is. What is the NP? Is that what you called it? Yes, it is. I bet it is. New perception. I bet that's what you called it. All right. So let's, for fun, because I know we've talked about image size, and let me get rid of. Oh, I don't know how to do. I don't have a keystroke to get rid of the comment. I have to do it with the mouse, and you don't need to see my face. So let me hide that. All right. If you go to, now I have a shortcut. I use a tool called Typinator on the Mac. And I'm getting a slight down the rabbit hole thing. There are websites that I go to all the time, and you can, of course, I have, shortcuts here, right? I have groups and things that I go to all the time, links, so I have bookmarks, and I've dumped all of that for keyboard shortcuts. And if I do command return, what is control return? Sorry. Maybe you can see it right up here. It's a little probably hard. But if I get rid of that and these are a whole bunch of shortcuts. So over here on the left, for example, you see what text I would type in, and then there are all of these shortcuts. What it does, so if I type in Facebook group FG dot up viral, for example, just up, it replaces that with the full length to there. So I could go there. What I was going to do was go to facebook.debug. I'm sorry. Sometimes I don't remember the exact keystroke, but that's why there's that other way of displaying them all. If I do facebook.debug, then I get the link to the debugger. And if you haven't seen this before, you should get very familiar with this if you're running a contest, because sometimes Facebook doesn't always pull in the right image, or if you change the image in the middle of a campaign, which I know people have done, and then if you post the link to the campaign inside Facebook, maybe you don't get the right thing. Let's just do, I've grabbed the link and sort of paste that in, and I want to see what oh, that's not what I wanted. All right. So let me go to Facebook. It's not what I intended to do. And if I were typing this on my timeline, it's in the wrong spot. Let me slow down and paste it in here. So then it shows me the right, hopefully the right image. Nicole says, thought I'd nailed it for shape, but on link in the comments, it's not worked. I don't know if the comments side of it works properly either. So again, some of that I don't totally understand how Facebook works sometimes or not. But it appears you're probably getting the right image in here. But if you don't know about the debugger in Facebook, you can search Google for Facebook debugger, and it will take you here. And you paste in the URL, and I've got all of that Facebook extra pixel stuff. That's not the right link. I knew I needed to look at that. So let me go into my clipboard, and it's this link. Now, you don't have to be the owner of the link to be able to look at what Facebook debugger will see. And this is, I'm laughing because this is kind of sort of the thing that sometimes Facebook does. And so you really got to fall in love with the Facebook debugger, because you probably ought to come here periodically. Now, it looks like, not that, but it looks like Facebook has pulled in an image here, right? Facebook has this image. And that may or may not be the right one, depending upon what your current campaign is set up for. But if we look at the debugger, notice there's no image down here. And I don't understand. I have the right link, right? No, I don't. Is that the right link? I've got the wrong link. Oh, okay. Well, let's use this one, for example, because this gentleman's link is not showing up properly with an image. We'll use my mistake, and we'll figure this out. All right. So If you click the scrape again button, sometimes Facebook will get the image. Sometimes you have to click that scrape again button. I've done it as many as 10 times before it actually finds the right image. And I don't know what's going on there. But if it doesn't work right, click it until it does, which is not the right kind of thing that you want to be teaching people. But try it 5 or 6 or 10 times. So now, whenever if I were to go to Facebook, I'm going to open... I'm not logged in a new window. If I just go to this, so where am I? I'm already lost as to how many windows I have open. See, that's your contest, and I've got the wrong, really badass link there, don't I? But let's suppose that I have his link. So if I go to Facebook, we should get the right image for him now, right? Come on, paste. There we go. And it takes a while sometimes to go find it. Hit a space. And there, so it's pulled in the right image. And if I had done that before, there may not have been an image there. Because the scrape in the debugger didn't show that. So yes, Nicole, I figured out I have the wrong link. So you're potentially behind in... Your comment just showed up for me. All right, so let's go look at the right link. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to drop off the Facebook click ID. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to get rid of all that. Oops, let me just paste that back in there. That's probably... But if I come in here into the debugger with the proper link for Nicole's campaign, we will get the right image, right? So that works. But again, this is how you use the debugger. You probably ought to get really familiar with it, because you really need to make sure you know what you're doing, and you want to get the right image, especially if you change images in mid-campaign, because Facebook can cache that image for days before it goes out and finds the right one. Notice also, by the way, in terms of this sharing, for Nicole and everybody else, it appears that you don't have any of the subtext. So there's... I knew I should have opened up Viral. Let me open up Viral. I don't have it currently open. Now, I use a tool called Coherence, which is another side tip. So that Viral's a browser application, but you can see the way I'm using it. It looks like it's a standalone app here on my Mac. So I didn't open a new tab in Safari. I actually opened an application. So I do all of my unique applications as a standalone app so that I don't end up with 6,000 tabs open. But if I go in here, let me go to this demo campaign and go to Setup and Social Appearance. And there's two boxes here. There's the top box, and they don't have labels, so it can be kind of confusing. But then there's this bottom box before the image. That bottom box, if I scroll down here, so this is the top box, is the first two rows, or the title, and the bottom box is like the description. And it appears from Facebook that you don't have anything in that description, which is okay. But part of why I wanted to show you this is that you cannot be guaranteed that Facebook is going to show you all of this depending upon the device that the people is using, which is bad grammar. The device the people are using to get into your campaign. A smartphone may not show all of this text. If you have this preview is not necessarily the way it's going to appear, and even in the debugger, it may or may not appear this way to all users of all devices. That's what I'm really trying to tell you. What I typically advise people is to have one row of title and one row of description if you can get away with it. 2 rows of description may or may not appear, so you can go long, but realize that sometimes you will only see one row of this description and only one row of title and one row of description on some devices. So you have to be really careful about some of this stuff. Now, I went long on this one because I was doing demo contest, do not enter, because I didn't want people to actually think that they could win this, which is why I have the gray, blurry background on this, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that's not where I wanted to go. So we haven't even gotten into looking at Nicole's campaign, but that's a crazy in-depth look at the Facebook debugger, and I really hope that you understand that you need to get kind of familiar with that, regardless of what tool you're using, whether it's UpViral or some other tool, because you want to make sure you know what the users are seeing. And why am I also emphasizing this? I'm emphasizing this because you have two kinds of traffic coming to your campaign. You have warm traffic. You have people that you, Nicole, in this case, I'll use you as an example. Nicole is bringing traffic to her campaign by posting her link and creating Facebook ads, if she does, posting it on social media networks, in Facebook groups, on Reddit, on Twitter, wherever. I really consider those warm traffic. Those people who should already know you, should like and trust you, and therefore they are going to be more likely to enter your campaign. For many people, so if Betty signs up for Nicole's campaign, and Betty shares this on Betty's timeline in Facebook, this image and this text is the only thing that that person sees for them to decide whether or not they're coming to the lead page. So the cold traffic, the people that know nothing about you or what you're offering, have to use this one thing to decide whether they're coming to your campaign or not. And then the lead page comes into play. So if this isn't working for your people or your potential people, they'll never even get to your lead page. And we spend a lot of time looking at the lead pages like this one that we're going to talk about in a minute. But if they don't even come to your lead page because this does not appeal to them and doesn't get the message across to them, you're not going to even have a chance with your lead page. So you have to make sure this works. So let me give you my impression of this, Nicole, if you don't mind. I love that it says win twice. I assume that the Buddha is giving me some information. It's attracting a certain group of people. Those people are probably your target audience. I don't even know what the rest of the words say yet because I haven't really looked at them. I'm going to look at them now. 2 wellness consultations were part of my issue right off the bat is that I don't know whether to read straight across here or whether I read straight down here and read over here. I realize there's a separator here, but sometimes my mind says, well, she's trying to get me to read all the way across, and it took me a second to figure out that, no, this is columns, even though some people would go, that's pretty obvious. That's a column, Mitch. So I'm not totally sold on this section over here. Rebalance your life. 2 wellness consultations worth I want to say $1,200, 120 pounds. And then these words are virtually impossible for me to read. And I am looking at this on a large 27-inch iMac. The color on these just makes them fade into oblivion. So if you want me to read these words, you got to do something different. I'm assuming that this is the name of your company. At New Perception in the New Forest, UK. In the New Forest, did I say that in or at? There's at. I'm confused as to what this is trying to tell me. It's a wording thing. It's for somebody who doesn't know. I'm putting on my cold traffic hat. For somebody who doesn't know what you are, I think that's confusing as kajibers. Because I'm looking at those words without knowing you. And I read at new perception. And that doesn't, as a phrase, ring a bell to me. I'm cold traffic. Remember, I'm cold traffic. In the New Forest, UK. I'm not in the United Kingdom. So the only thing that I really grasp is the UK. And I'm in the United States, so I might bounce. I might not even go because I'm thinking, oh, this only applies to somebody in the United Kingdom. My recommendation right off the bat would be to throw this out. Unless this is telling them you have to be in the United Kingdom in order to be eligible to win, this is confusing people and they're not going to even come to your campaign, your lead page. Because I realize, based on the fact that now I see your domain, right, is called New Perception, that's what that means, is that's your business name and this is your location. But until people know that, remembering again that we're assuming the people seeing this image are cold traffic. Nicole says, yes, it's UK only. Okay, then just simply say United Kingdom entrance only, because I think that's important on your image. When I do a campaign like for Fuji, we specifically said on the sharing image, USA only. So that we didn't get people hitting the lead page, the landing page, from other countries. Now, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but we at least gave them the idea that they should not be coming to the page because they're not eligible if they're not in the United States. But these words over here are just so lost to me. Is an unbalanced life destroying your health? Bless your heart, Nicole. This is what I want you to do. This is what I think is important, because you're talking to somebody about what their problem is, their pain point, right off the bat. That's what I want to see potentially up here. Now, I know you got rebalance your life over here. That's kind of part of what you're addressing with the pain. I'm not quite sure what the right words are, but you're focusing on what the win is, and what you should be still doing is focusing on the pain points, because people are going to look at this, in my opinion, they're going to see 2 wellness consultations and go, I don't need that. And I'm gone. I have pain. I'm unbalanced. My health sucks. But I don't think... I think this is more important than saying 2 wellness consultations. And I don't know that this is important either. Unfortunately, you can't do split testing with images inside of an up viral campaign as the social sharing message. It's just not possible. I've tried to convince them that it was possible, and they've convinced me that it's not. You can change your social sharing message inside a campaign whenever you want, as long as you go back to the debugger and refresh the debugger. So you can effectively do one image for a couple of days and then switch to another image and see what the results are. But you can't just do a blind split test inside of UpViral with the social sharing message. You can't do it in any tool that I'm aware of. What I would like for you to do, if you have the opportunity, would be to take this and make this be pain points, change these words, and then show it to 2 or 3 of your clients, people that know and trust you, and say which one of these is more likely to get you to sign up. Go ahead and ask somebody. Doesn't hurt. All right, let's move on. I get really wrapped up in some of this stuff. Can you tell? All right. Win now. Drop that right there. Get rid of that. All right. I'm pausing to read. My opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, is that those two words, win now, are going to startle somebody. I would like to see this, and I'm gonna beat about the face and head again in terms of, it's gonna drive me crazy. Let me turn this off so that highlight thing doesn't come up. Would you like to is going to put a whole bunch of people off because it is, again, passive. Get rid of this and get rid of that for right now. Feel less stress! Exclamation point. Have more balance in your life! Exclamation point. We're giving away 3 chances to win private wellness consultations that will help you solve that problem. Those problems, or whatever. Right now, to me, this would you like to, and this again is Mitch's opinion, I am not a copywriter, but to me, this is like, would you like to? Well, yeah. Yeah. But if it just simply says, feel less stress, have a more balanced life, win 3 chances to get private wellness consultations to help you achieve those things, is much more appealing in terms of looking at this landing page. I'm much more interested in solving those problems. It just, would you like to, as a phrase, just doesn't float my boat. And you're starting off with that. And I know you said win now, exclamation point. But what in a position, in a giveaway, in a sales page where people do not know, like, and trust you already, what they're more interested in doing is solving a problem and stopping some pain in their life. And that's what you need to address first, and you need to address it aggressively. My opinion. I say that because, again, I am not a copywriter, but I think that that would be more effective. Again, the good news is that you can split test this. You could use this page and go into UpViral and clone it and split test it. Leave this page exactly like it is. Put some traffic in. Create the second page. Let UpViral split test it. Send the same amount of traffic to both pages and see which one wins. That's the good news about UpViral, is that we can do split tests all day long and find out whether Mitch knows what he's talking about or not. And then you tell me, because I'd like to learn. My suspicion is that those changes would be more effective. I could be wrong. Expert Phoebe Clausen at the New Perception for New Forest, UK. Nicole, when you see this part, is at part of the name of the business, or is it just New Perception? Because twice I've seen at in front of this. Are you just simply trying to suggest to me that that's where that's going to be received, or is that part of the name? If it's just part of the name, I would get rid of the at, because I think that's confusing. I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. Competition closes the 28th of November at 2 p.m. GMT. Good. I like that. Right before the enter now. Enter now. Let's see what this says. I'm going to suggest you get rid of ready to. That phrase is not helping you out. Win 2 wellness consultations. Enter your name and email address below. The winner will be notified by email, so enter it carefully. I like that. That's very good. I just don't care for this passive voice. First name, last name, email, and grade. We talked about this before. I don't know why that is not fitting on the screen. Could that be because I've got it blown up? I don't know why that's doing that. Do you see that it's not quite fitting and it's giving us those scroll bars? It's the scroll bar that's the problem. Meaning there's so much text as it's popping in those scroll bars and causing the left and right side to not fully fit. We've talked about this before. If you really need the last name, ask for it. But if you can do without it, try not to. Because it's going to slow down the number of people that enter. That might make this all fit without a scroll bar. Pete Stone pops in. Thank you, Pete, for the question. This is kind of a long question. I'm going to launch a new software company soon, and we are planning to do a waitlist campaign where they can win early access for doing various actions. And while their friends join, they will get early access unlocked. What do you think about that as the only benefit or multiple benefits for joining? Isn't a part of it, Nicole says. Okay. Waitlist campaign where they can win early access for doing various custom actions. And if one of their friends join, they will basically bump the line. What do you think about that as the only benefit or multiple benefits for joining the campaign? I'm not totally sure I understand that part of the question. If you're saying, is that a good way to run a campaign? Sure, you don't have to throw in tons of custom actions or tons of rewards. If you're doing a wait list, primarily the wait list is the main thing. They want to get early access, and by inviting their friends, then they gain that early access. I wouldn't try to overcomplicate it by adding bunches of extra things, but the good news is you could always test it. I'm going to go back to Nicole's thing. Thank you for the question, Pete, by the way. And if you want to talk more about that, let me know. Or maybe after I finish with Nicole's campaign. Something, Nicole, is causing this to create the scroll bar. And if you can shorten this in any way, shape, or form, cut this down by one line, cut this down by one line, remove the last name if you can, then those scroll bars should disappear. And then they should be okay. I think that would eliminate the scrolling. Let me ask you, Nicole, does this image need to be there? Is that very important for your business? If so, great, leave it. For the average person, what is that adding to the pot? Is that part of the logo of the business? Maybe that could go away. We want words to explain, and we want images to explain what's going on. If we don't need them, let's get rid of them. So this is Phoebe. I'm pausing. I've gone totally quiet. Here, let's listen to some music. I'm still here. So this we've seen the top of the page. we have this information which is trying to explain who Phoebe is. If we've read this, we want to know who she is. You have a link to your website for them to learn more information if they want to. That's okay. The thing that I'm pausing about is this still, and maybe I'm just being crazy anal, crazy perfectionist, but this still bothers me in that for a person who doesn't know what you are, it just kind of doesn't say, this is the name of my business and this is our location. It just feels kind of weird. And I don't know if that's just me or anybody else. And I don't know what it adds to this. Because again, because English is read left to right, people are going to start over here. And they're going to look at this and they're going to go, okay, what's that image for? What is this telling me? Oh, there's a person. Oh, this is Phoebe. I would much rather Phoebe's name be right here. At this point, you're still not trying to tell people what you are and where you are, in my opinion. You could do that maybe down here, but Phoebe's name is more important to be over here, if you ask me. And I'm getting really picky about this. I'm sorry. Hopefully this helps. Troy's here. Thank you, Troy. Troy says, Mitch is going off the rails. Can I kick Troy out? Troy says, I agree with Mitch. Do not distract visitors. Remove unless absolutely necessary. Thank you, Troy. I love you. No, I love you. So, my opinion is, put her name over here. Put this information over here if you can. Put her picture. If this helps people, that's okay. Leave it. To celebrate a new website, new perception, and to say thank you to clients past and present, Phoebe is giving away 3 prizes. Each prize is 2 of her in consultations. Each prize is 2 of her consultations. This phrasing kind of confuses me. Nicole says, the image is the logo. So I assume we're talking about this image. Maybe I should put sponsor. And this is a friend. My gut says, Nicole, that nobody on this planet is going to know that's a logo. They're going to think that's... I'm being mean. I feel like I'm being mean, but I don't feel like it's ignorance because I'm English or an American, but I just don't think people will recognize that as a logo. They'll see that that's characters of another language, and they'll assume you're trying to say something to them, and they can't read it, so they don't know what it says, they don't know what's there, and it's just confusing as kajibers. And even if you put the word sponsor there, I'm really wrestling it because I don't want to hurt your feelings or their feelings or anything, but it's just confusing. For somebody who is coming into this cold and don't know and love you and like you and trust you or her, they're going to be lost. And if they're lost, they're leaving. Right? And if it's probably not just me, it's probably everybody else that comes here. And it's not meant to be hurtful, but we want things that are just totally blatantly clear, and it doesn't have to be pretty, but nobody's going to know that's a logo. Nobody gets that. Sorry, Phoebe, if that's your logo. I would have chosen something different, but I'll be quiet. To celebrate new websites and to say thank you to clients, Phoebe is... I would also put future here, by the way, because it says to say thank you to clients past and present. What about the future? Future clients. We want to appreciate them too, don't you? Each prize is 2 of her energizing wellness consultations. Each prize is 2 appointments, is what you're saying. So there are 3 prizes, and I would like to see that worded differently somehow. I'm not going to try to solve the problem for you right now. It feels confusing. And maybe it's not. Maybe everybody else would like it. Again, you could split test that too, if you really wanted to. What is a wellness consultation? This I like. I'm not going to try to wordsmith this. This is up to you. But this is finally telling me what the benefits are. Kind of want you to say that up here. I mean, we've talked a little bit about this, right? But what's that going to do for them? What's it going to solve for? Why do they want to win this? On the podcast I was just on, we talked for a little bit about sales pages, and this is true for this too. If you're not addressing somebody's pain and telling them how this is really going to solve their problems, they're going to leave. And even though that would push your enter button down below the fold, I think that some of this information, maybe not all of it, if I read this, I would go, oh, I like that phrase, the full system check. This is gonna help me check my body, my mind, my emotions, all of these things. Yeah, I want to win that. But if somebody comes into this campaign at the top and they say, see, feel less stress and get more balance in your life, win 3 chances to these private consultations, I still don't understand the why part of it. Nicole says, it's going to go, don't worry. Thank you. I'm sorry, Troy, I missed this. I only saw it briefly, but with the consult details below, it didn't look like it explained what they will get from a consult. What are the end results? Right. What's the transformation? Bless your heart, Troy, that's the word I'm looking for. Up here at the top, again, you got to remember that some people are only going to get this chance, this section right here, to understand what's going to happen and why they want it. I don't think people are going to see this the way it is right now, and even with changing a little bit of the words, I don't think they're going to go, holy crap, I got to win that. You got to remember, this is your 3 seconds to grab them by the throat and get them really excited about this. If you were putting an iPhone up there, they would go, holy crap, I need that right now. Putting up something that is difficult for people to understand externally without some kind of information, they're going to leave. They're not going to know what your offer is, and they're gone. Especially right now, I don't even know to scroll down, right? I don't even know that there's something below this. I do because I've been there. And priority-wise, having her picture here, I know that's part of the template that you're using to have a picture. I don't even know that this helps your case because nobody knows her. It would be good information to have, but I would much rather have, and Troy is saying, this section, he's saying, what is a wellness consultation is too bullety, needs more details on how life is transformed. The bullets are too corporate, they don't stand out. This is a copywriting issue. Yes, I agree. It's better than what we just have up here, in my opinion. But what Troy said. Oh, look, there's more stuff down here. There's potentially nothing wrong with this text because it does provide information. If I scroll down and I find it and I want more information, I could read this, and there's nothing wrong with having a long form sales page. But my point being up here is that you got this section to grab those people's attention and get them to read farther or get them to enter. But if there's not enough grabbing them, they're gone. So this is your critical piece. Just like I was saying, this is your critical piece. You got to make these two things sing or they're gone. And so I'm going to not talk about the rest of this because I don't know what it says. And I think there's probably maybe some wordsmithing that could go on here. Typically, I don't get too crazy about all of these details because it may work for some people. It may not. I would just say down here on this button, enter to win. You've already told them what it is. Just be simple with it like this. Enter now. Either one of those works. All right, so I'm going to enter because I want to get to the next page. Planet Mitch. Last name is Onger. PMR is my email address. I agree. Why do we have two multiples? Probably because you're in a GDPR world. Enter to win. Oops. I wasn't planning on that. Alright, so I can't see the lead of the second page. And I have urged UpViral to change this. I don't care for this message in any way, shape, or form. I really, really wish they would implement that so that on this page, we could tell them, because we already know where they're from. It's based on IP address. We could say right up here at the top, sorry, you're not in the United Kingdom and therefore you're not eligible. So we've gotten them to read all this stuff potentially and fill in the form only to get this very cryptic and crappy message. The user experience sucks and it reflects badly on you. And it's not your doing, it's UpViral's doing. I'm going to have to talk to them about this again. It just bothers the kajibers out of me. All right, let me do this. I have a VPN because nobody else submitted a campaign, so you're getting a whole lot of data from me. Too much, probably. I didn't want to go to Angola. I did not want that. Change. Let me go down here to United Kingdom. Thank you. So now I get to enter, right? So let me refresh the page. Will it let me do that? Oh no, it's already taken me to the error. Darn it. Let me go back. Enter now. Holy camole, did you get rid of the last name already? Ha! Look at that, she's changing things on the fly. Stream quality, your stream... Oh. Are you guys still here? I didn't even think about that. Let me know if you're still here. Because I didn't think about the VPN messing up the broadcast. Somebody tell me that you're still here. I know there's a delay. I see that there are still people here according to the tool. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Troy. Phew. I didn't even think about that. Congratulations, you're entered in the draw for 2 wellness consultations. See, again, I'm still a little confused because there's really 3 prizes, right? I don't know why this is showing up all the way over here. Yes, I get it, Troy. You're here. You're here. So you're doing 3 prizes, random draw, most points, and the person who referred the first one. All right, good. You want 25 more entries? There's that passive. Get 25 more entries. Earn 25 more entries. Then earn extra entries and or refer a friend. Extra entries, I would say chances to win. How to enter, refer points. 1 point equals 1 entry. Use your personal invite link to... This has gotten pretty small. I don't know why it's not in the middle. It could be the template. Like the Facebook page for 10 points. Share on social media. Call Phoebe at New Perception to find out more about her Austin balance. That's 50 points. Good for you. I like that one. Good stuff. Let me blow this up a bit. Earn 50 points to get a free meditation class. I like that too. So you're providing multiple ways of getting additional chances to win. That's good. This is not standing out as much as I think it should. Multiple things here. You're doing the 3rd prize with most points, but there is not down at the bottom a leaderboard, so people can't tell where they are in the process. What is it? These words are... See this? There's something messed up here. There's something messed up with the way this is appearing. You might want to fool with that, because I don't like the way that it's spread all the way across the top of this. You may have to create a new page and copy it over. I don't know what's going on there. Let me just show you really fast in case you haven't seen it. If I go to Up Viral and I go to share page, the share page that you're using is this template. So if I go edit and I scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's the leaderboard. So it will appear down here below terms and conditions when you turn that on. Now I added this text. Leaderboard, how close are you to winning the 3rd prize? You might want to do something like that because they don't give that. I've forgotten what it does by default. This one was something different, but make sure to turn that on. I need to save that because this is a demo. So this earn 50 points and get a free meditation is here, but it's not standing out. See, I don't know what's going on. If you somehow left justified this text, and it's because of my screen so big, it's just all appearing way the heck over here. But I would really like you to see make this stand out more. This earn 50 points, because that's a reward. I'm pausing here because I don't know what good this is doing you. This section on testimonials. If I am somebody, I typically would think that that would be on the lead page and not on the share page. What I'm feeling in my gut is that I want them to focus on sharing and earning points and trying to convince them on this page that the meditations are great. And I know that's part of this 50 points. So I'm torn. maybe that is okay. A split test might work, but the key is that we want them doing this stuff, and yes, you're trying to get them to earn that, which is going to be these things. And just between you and me, I don't care for this logo the way they do this, because I don't think it makes a lot of sense. But what I would do to try to solve this, because Nicole just said it's come up super wide, is to at least make sure it's centered, as opposed to left justified, because these are all left justified here. Maybe that's the issue. But maybe you've messed something up inside of the template, and maybe you'll have to recreate it. It's not that hard to do. But I really so I'm distracted again on formatting. I turned off the leaderboard to start as there are no entries. Was that a mistake? Great question. I would suggest that it probably is. Again, you could split test it, but when people see that there's a most points option, and even though you've just started and they don't see themselves in a leaderboard somewhere, then they might not trust that you're actually going to give that away. And I don't know. I would turn it on. That's just my gut. I've never tried to test with it turned off. I've always just turned it on if there's going to... And I understand what you're saying is that right now there's nobody there, and even the first few people they're all going to have 1 point. But at least if they are looking for it, they can see it. And the incentive of having the leaderboard is to get them to do more. Right? To earn more points. So without it there, I think you're defeating the purpose. So that's a 2-minute long answer for just turn it on. Yeah. Comment on a new I just pulled my cord out of my headphones, but nobody's saying anything but me anyway, so why do I care? I'm a funny bird. Comment on a new perception post on Facebook. I like this. Why are you only giving 10 points for that? So you're doing the like and the comment is the same number of points. Yeah, it's up to you. The points system it's a tricky scenario trying to figure out what the right number of points are. I'm currently thinking more points is better for just about anything. But I'm not totally sure. I don't know all the answers. I'm sorry. I like the Book of Discovery Call 50 points. That gives them incentive to go. I might make it 100 points. Hey, look, there's a logo. I know it's a logo now. I'm sorry. I hope you don't think I'm being mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I laugh at things that maybe aren't funny, but they're interesting to me. Oh, excuse me. I've been on my feet for a while. I'm tired. I'm still thinking about this and whether or not I think that's beneficial. I mean, I understand why it's there. You're trying to get people to understand why they should try to win that. My gut says that this isn't enough points, by the way, to get that free guided meditation class. The other side of that is that I hadn't really thought about this. This says class in Burley, so I'm assuming that that's a location. Um, if I'm in London, do I not enter because this is too... Do I not try to win this because it's too far away? Is there a distance? And oh, by the way, for the two consultations that I am winning, are those a physical must be appearing in some place? Because that could slow things down as well. And I never did look at the terms and conditions. Was that on the lead page? Did I see that? Terms and conditions. Participant will be bound by these official rules. Good. And so this looks... I'm not going to try to nitpick this, but I love it when you've got terms and conditions that are long and wordy, because that implies to me that you're trustworthy. Even if I don't read them, people see that there are terms and conditions and they feel more confident that what you're doing is a real contest and that they really might win. I'm not going to try to read any of this. I was just trying to skim it for... here we go. The consultation prices must be taken in person in Burley, Lyndhurst, or Southampton within 6 months. So it's not really open to the entire United Kingdom unless they want to travel. And maybe that's not so far, but for some people that might be. It's a toss-up how you want to deal with that. I don't think I would try to tell people on the lead page more information that says, oh, by the way, if you're not within 2 hours of these, whatever, driving distance of these locations, then don't enter. Because you possibly still want people on your email list, even if they're not within driving distance. I don't know, that's up to you. You would have to decide how critical that is to your process. I mean, if you get somebody that's 10 hours away, I don't know if that's even possible in England. I don't know enough about the geography of England or the United Kingdom. If that's too far, then why would they even enter in the first place? I don't know. You'll have to figure that out. I'm not going to try to give you an answer on that one. So, I'm going to wrap this up, Nicole. If you have any questions, I do know that the UpViral team is working on changes to all of these templates. I don't know when it's coming. It doesn't really help you at this point. I would love to be able to have possibly move these sections around so that I could have the leaderboard higher up or something like that. And I still don't... You'll have to figure this out. I'm going to leave this one up to you. I don't know if that really adds anything. If you think it does, leave it. If you don't think it does, if you don't think it clarifies why they want to earn those guided meditation classes. Oh, I was starting to talk about the points. Sorry. I get distracted about my own stuff. I can earn 50 points just by clicking these first 5 buttons. And is that enough activity to earn that thing? You'll have to answer this question again on your own. I might bump that up to 100 points, or part of what I typically try to do is to get them to... Again, this is up to you. What I try to do is make the reward high enough points that they have to at least get one friend to be referred. Because that's the gold for your client, for your friend, is to have new leads coming in from referrals. And so I might, again, it depends upon how much these meditation classes end up costing you, if they cost anything, or whether they're just extra people that show up and you're teaching class anyway. Maybe it doesn't cost you anything. But sometimes you want to make sure that they're earning that by bringing in a friend. So just sharing on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn maybe isn't enough. Maybe you really want them to refer at least one person. And right now, with the way Upviral works, is those rewards are based on total points. You can't just have it identify if somebody refers somebody, then they earn this thing. It has to just be on points. And hopefully that gets changed somewhere soon. But again, it's not there now, so you can't do anything with it. I feel like I'm just going on and on and on and on because I'm a perfectionist at some of this stuff. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, Nicole, I'm stalling now to try to get you to ask questions before I hang up on you. But that's kind of a really, really long-winded analysis of what you could improve on your campaign. And I hope that this has served you. I hope that this has helped you in some way. I tend to go long-winded on these. I'm still stalling because I know there's a delay. But I'm going to hang up in 30 seconds. My wife is making dinner for me, bless her heart. And I'm getting hungry. It's 5 o'clock. Oh. I lost you for a bit for some reason, but it's massively helped me. Thank you. I hope it has. I'm glad to hear that it has. People do pay for this kind of work from me, so I'm happy to be able to offer it to you and to show other people what can be done. I know that Wilco and the other tool makers like to say how easy it is to create a campaign, but it's like Facebook ads. It's not as easy as they make it look out, right? You can't just throw something together without thought. You have to really, really think about what you're doing, because otherwise it's just not going to work. And you're going to look at it and you're going to, well, I put in all that effort and we didn't get any leads. And you still could. I mean, you might still not get any leads. My friend is just starting out, so the aim is exposure and hopefully new clients. Have you had any success with tiny clients? Great question. There are... kind of depends upon what you define success, Nicole. Some of the smaller clients, I have an accountant in Oklahoma. Now, she's doing work throughout the United States, and we did a contest for her, and if I recall, we brought in 300 and something leads, but she didn't do anything with them. She didn't really work it, and she didn't try to push them into doing anything. She didn't email them. She didn't do anything. It's harder for somebody like your friend than it is for somebody like Jennifer. My brain is slowing down rapidly. If you've seen the Red Thread case study that I did, it's a physical product. It's harder for services than it is for physical products. Physical products are easier to grasp, understand, and be interested in because people in that thread, that's not what I meant, people in that niche already understand what the thread is for. What, in terms of selling somebody that's doing a metaphysical solve mental, physical problem, that's harder to sell. It's harder to get people interested. Type in a comment, Nicole, if you're still here, because I'm gonna. There's a case study. Ask me for the gym case study, and that's the kind of thing that I think that she ought to be thinking about doing. And that in the gym case study, and I don't mean gym as in J-I-M, I mean like a fitness gym. In the gym case study, they had people that entered. The people that entered the gym campaign were asked the phone number. And the gym called everybody that entered the campaign. So they had a massive follow-up process. And if I remember correctly, they spent... I'm just throwing out numbers because I don't remember exactly, but I think it was something like $3,000 that they spent on advertising and the time and energy in running the campaign. But they brought in $12,000 in new revenue. But part of that is because they called people. Well, a big chunk of that was that they called people up and said, well, you didn't win, but we'd still like to offer you this, this, and this. So that takes time and effort in order to make that. Troy says, where is the case study? Let me just go back. The eCam tool that I use to broadcast, I cannot type in comments. I still don't understand why I can't just physically type comments inside the tool. So let me take 10 seconds and come over here and go to me, where the broadcast is, and type in my own comment. No, it's not on Giveaway Rocket. It's not actually my case study. But I remember this one and I've saved it. GY Gym. See, I don't have it as a keyboard shortcut. And I keep forgetting where this is. Here it is. So what I'm going to do is type in gym case study and go to that link. And there's actually several different links inside that workflowy document. But that was done by the Entrepreneur HQ website. And I get to see my own comment. The other case study, if you haven't seen it, the red thread case study is... Well, let me just put this in. Red thread case study is on giveawayrocket.com slash resources. Resources. It's the first one in the top left corner. And the last case study that I think you really ought to pay attention to is the Bunky one, if you haven't seen that. And that's an up viral case study. And the reason you should look at that is because it's an insane amount of promotion that they did during the campaign. So your friend, Nicole, your friend could be going live on Facebook. And in the process, when people register, she could say, look, I'm going live on Facebook on Tuesday, and I'm going to discuss how that I can help you transform when you win the thing, right? Or I can tell you why you want to get the 50 points or whatever the total number is you come up for the meditation. And so by going live, you're doing education, part of the sales process. and you're encouraging people to share and doing stuff. So he also had, the Bunky guy, at the end, told everybody, I'm doing a massive sale. I'm going to give 20% off for 2 days at the end of the giveaway. And so that brought in customers, right? They were convinced that they needed to buy the thing because of the contest. So if they didn't win, then he had a sale to give 20% off. Now, I think that's a great thing. So go look at that. Look at all those case studies, because I think they all apply to your friend Nicole. Now the Bunky guy got 32,000 leads. You're not going to get those, and you don't want that many because she's a small local business. Let me see if I can come back to me. The Red Thread case study, she brought in 3,800 new leads. I don't remember what the gym membership was, but like I said, they brought in $12,000, if I remember correctly, in sales. So those are all three. You can it's not totally applicable to her, but I think you can glean several ideas from those processes. And because she's new, she needs to kind of do this kind of stuff. Especially, she needs to encourage her existing client base, if she has anybody that is clients. See if she can get testimonials from them. You've got written testimonials, those two, for the meditation. See if you can get a video testimonial. Because videos, people watch the videos. But I do think going live is also very encouraging. It gets people interested and motivated. The Bunky one, by the way, he did custom actions of secret words inside of his live. And he would say, I'm laughing because he admitted that he was making up the secret word on the fly. So in one of them, he said lampshade was the secret word because he happened to look just past his computer and there was a lamp there. And he said, oh, lampshade is the word. But they came in, he created a custom action, said from video number 2, what was the custom word, and so they got extra 100 points or whatever for doing the secret word. Those are all fantastic ideas. It's all about getting people, continuing to keep them motivated and interested in the contest so that maybe they win, or even if they don't win, they turn into a customer. So take all those things. So many people, the Bunky case study is a perfect example. And I know I'm long-winded here. I'm preaching to the choir. But so many people create a contest. And it's the... what's the name of the movie? Basically, it's the theory of, I built it so they're going to show up, right? If you build it, they will come. The baseball movie. I cannot come up with a title for some reason. So they put the contest out there, and they just expect people to find it and show up, and they don't do any promotion, they don't do any Facebook Lives, they don't do anything, and then they're disappointed at the end when nobody signed up, or very few people sign up. As much as I love Wilco and Jack over at Viper, they use the viral word, and they talk about how things are going to go crazy. They don't, unless you frickin' work the campaign. It's not just magic. There is no magic bullet here. You have to do things to make the campaign work. All right, I'm finished preaching to the choir. Bless you, Nicole, for being brave enough to let me rip your campaign to shreds. But I do believe that it's beneficial, and I hope that anybody else that's stuck with me through all of this, you get the idea. I have all kinds of things that I can help you. I do consulting. I do done-for-you services. I have training courses. If you want to contact me, just go to giveawayrocket.com. Dream 100 are what we are going to try. I'm not familiar with what the dream are you talking about my friend Paul Pruitt? I think they have something called the Dream 100. Maybe it's a different thing. But if you go to giveawayrocket.com/resources, you can find out all kinds of great stuff. That's where my case studies are. There's some demo campaigns. There's the information about my consulting and done-for-you services, training programs, stuff like that. Please, if you are interested, let me know. I would love to help you. I do this, by the way. One of the things on the resources tab is to do a review of your campaign for you for a fee. This one I have done for Nicole at no charge. I don't always do this, but Nicole says, no, you look at the 100 people who have the clients you want, try to connect, advertise to them, and advertise to their clients. Yes, I get it. You definitely want to be the Bunky campaign, by the way, is gonna the one thing that many people have taken away from the Bunky thing, first is the Facebook Lives and the secret word. Those are the top two. But if you pay attention, David did a survey as one of his custom actions, and the people that answered the survey, he took those email addresses over to Facebook as a custom audience, and then he was advertising to those people because he took the people that and made the assumption that people that answered the survey were most likely to be his 100 clients, if you want to call it like that, your Dream 100. And so he advertised to those kinds of people. And he thinks that did very well for his results. And bless you, Nicole, I think you make a great mentor. You are welcome. I do love doing this kind of stuff. I do love teaching, which is why I have a program called Win Together, which I really I flog myself because I don't offer it enough. The people that have been through the Red Thread case study, Jennifer is one of my students that went through the what I call the Win Together program, where we build a campaign as I'm teaching you how to do it. And I think her campaign did very well because that mentorship was right there while she was building the campaign. It's one thing to go through a training course where people teach you how to do something, but if you don't instantly implement it, then it maybe doesn't get done, it doesn't sink in. So I love my Win Together program. It takes me energy to get it together and get students involved, and I tend to end up sometimes focusing on other things, and it doesn't get done. And, it's the sales process, right? It's finding clients and that kind of stuff. Anyway, long story there. Thank you for your kind words, Nicole. I appreciate you giving me that feedback. I appreciate you opening yourself up to this opportunity, and if anybody else has any interest, you know where to find me at giveawayrocket.com. And Astro and I thank you for being here. So I'm going to sign off and go eat my dinner, and I'm going to let my daughter Maddie say goodbye.
I had a fun time. Now turn that off.